Just, when the market's closed and I don't have a sense of where it's headed, it's a little bit scary, honestly, to buy gold, especially at the price point it's at. Someone brings in 10 ounces and it drops $100 the following Monday. I'm going to get hurt.
Check these out. I guess they were 3D printed.
Buy your gold and silver online from SD Bullion. New customers get gold or silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you, Adrian.
See ya.
Good morning, Silver Dragons.
Good to see you, Harry.
You too, thank you.
You know what, Harry? I haven't been here for about a week, and the last time I was here, gold was under $2,500, but today it is over $2,500.
Yep, we're $4 off the record high from Friday. It crossed over 2,500 for the first time ever, at least closing at that number. It was way down this morning. It's come back. I think today could be another up day.
I think it could be, and I want to get your opinion on what sort of the public is thinking about this, because you saw people over the weekend.
Yeah.
Were people shocked? Were they wanting to buy gold, sell gold? What was the thought out there?
Typically, when there's a big bump up like there was late last week, the gold will sit there till people get used to the idea of that new high price. But oddly enough, Saturday we sold quite a bit of gold. I think now it's like, okay, we've broken through and who knows where it's going. For instance, when it hit 2,000, things dried up here for a while because people said, I'm going to wait till it dips back under 2,000. With the exception of one day, it never did. Now maybe the thinking is 2,500 may not be the top either.
I think it might not be the top for very long. I mean, especially with the Fed looking at lowering rates in September.
Yeah, if the Fed lowers rates, and it's very likely they will to help their candidate in the presidential election, then you could see people fleeing to the safe haven of the metals away from bank accounts and, more traditional investments, and you could see a lot more upside on the metals, particularly on gold.
Well, I did see something in the news about central banks buying up more gold and the Chinese central banks buying up crazy amounts of gold. So maybe they're worried about their currency. I mean, if you're a bank and you're buying gold, you're telling everyone, I would rather hold gold than our currency. That's what they're telling people.
Well, it's not a terrible thing to follow what the big guys are doing. Like them or not, they're not stupid. You could do a lot worse than hold a lot of gold as they do.
Speaking of holding gold, we only have, what is this? Less than 2 ounces in the shop?
Yep. We're still kind of recovering from the weekend, and the weekend we sold gold.
That's incredible. Can we take a look at these pieces here?
Well, I have to admit, a little bit of this is my fault because on Saturday, I was reluctant to buy any gold, thinking that, incorrectly by the way, thinking that there was going to be a huge correction today with profit taking at 2,500, but that's not at all what's happening. So I'm wrong this time, again, and it's so hard to predict this market, which is why when people ask any of us, what's gold or silver going to do, it's just an opinion, and we're not always right.
So let me ask you this. You didn't buy any gold from, let's say, the wholesalers or whatever?
No, from the public.
Really?
Right.
So when people would come in to sell it, what would you tell them?
Not buying today. I'm too afraid of the uptick on Friday and what might happen on Monday.
Wow. So, but couldn't you just buy it back of spot at some level?
Well, here's the thing. There's a price at which I would have bought it, but then the risk is making somebody very angry that, well, what do you mean you're $70 back or $90 back on whatever it is? And I'd have to be there to feel safe on a Saturday. And sometimes I'd rather not buy it than make somebody angry. We live in a time of easily reviewed businesses where you can give a good opinion or a bad opinion of a business. And so I hate to live like this, but you have to have a mind toward, gee, I don't want to really make them mad. Even though I'm not doing it to make them mad, I'm doing it to protect myself. But if you quote someone on the phone, sight unseen, you don't even know who they are, they're not looking you in the eye, you can't explain anything easily over the phone, you run the great risk of making someone mad and getting really terrible reviews, and maybe deserved if they don't understand the circumstance.
Well, what about if someone came in today to sell gold? I mean, it's still over 2,500, but it's kind of settling down a little bit. What would you say to them? I mean,
I'd be buying again today. Just, you know, when the market's closed and I don't have a sense of where it's headed, it's a little bit scary, honestly, to buy gold, especially at the price point it's at. Someone brings in 10 ounces and it drops $100 the following Monday, you know, I'm going to get hurt.
so it's mostly on just the weekend, like on a Saturday.
Yeah, and truthfully, this is the first weekend where I truly wasn't buying any. Sometimes I'll pick and choose, like, gee, I could really use some Eagles or Buffaloes, and say no to the Krugerrands or bars. But this time I just was saying no.
And this right here, this is less than 2 ounces of gold, and this is all that you have in the whole shop, correct?
Yeah, but it's not a big deal because most people who want something that they don't see will allow me to order it for them.
Right.
So it's nice to have live inventory in the shop, but it's not completely necessary for all transactions.
Yeah, well, you certainly do have a lot of silver. It looks like you guys replenished your silver eagles, and you got a bunch of other coins. Adrian, let me get your take on silver. So sounds like people were still buying gold at the high. Have you seen any change in people wanting to stack silver over the last week or so?
Definitely. A lot of people coming in buying silver, people asking, you know, where do you think it's all going? And Harry has a really good explanation for it when people ask, should I buy gold? Should I buy silver? It's good to have a little bit of both, but I mean, silver's still got a way to go compared to its all-time highs.
Well, you know, silver's up today, and I'll just show it here. So silver's actually up 35 cents, it looks like, but gold is down $5. So they don't always move in tandem. You know, one interesting thing is that the dollar dropped today. So usually when the dollar's down, silver's up. That is the case. But with gold, it doesn't always do the opposite of what the dollar does.
Yeah, so what I've heard over time, it's that, you know, gold leads and silver follows. I mean, it's been going up close to that 30 mark again. So let's see what happens with it. I mean, I only see it going up based on what gold's done.
Yeah, I guess silver is maybe still playing catch up.
Yes.
But I'm seeing support at 2,500. I mean, I thought, honestly, it was going to go way under 2,500 today. But even though it's down, you know, $4 right at the moment, it's hanging in there above 2,500. And that could be the new floor.
It could be. And actually, I probably would tend to agree with you that we usually see a pullback. In fact, on my video I posted on Saturday, I mentioned that I was expecting gold and silver to go down today, and gold was basically flat and silver's gone up, so that shows what I know.
Yeah. Well, to rely on anyone, including us, to predict the future is dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have some junk silver here, and actually you have such a great assortment. You have the halves, the quarters, you've got dollars, you've got the dimes, you have everything. Someone sent into the shop some cool tubes. Maybe we could show them off in the video. So check these out. I guess they were 3D printed, and they kind of look like big shotgun shells, but they hold quarters, right?
That's what the gentleman told me.
Let's give it a shot.
Nice fella named Matt.
You like what I did there? Give it a shot.
Yeah,
Yeah, they fit nicely.
perfectly, actually. It's wonderful.
I wonder how many fit in a
I
tube.
wonder if it's a full tube.
60 or something?
You think 60?
I don't know. Let's see.
Let's try and fill it up and see.
Okay.
60 quarters. I don't know. That seems like a lot of quarters. I'll say 50, but what do I know?
I'm a little afraid there's going to be a lot of people calling in to order these. This is not something we stock as inventory. It was a gift from a viewer.
I see what you're doing there, Matt. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, I've never seen anything like this, but if I was looking for something to store my silver quarters in, this would be at the top of the list.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, and probably other people could print them too if they had like the files.
Yeah.
So how many
Okay,
do we got here?
this is 40 right now. This would be a typical tube.
Okay,
So let's see what it does to our shotgun shell.
so 40 in a normal tube, so $10. Adrian thinks it's going to be more. At least 40.
It could hold it, but on the other hand, a little space there. Want to go 45?
Yeah, if it was just able to do 50 though, that would
60, I mean.
Be, those would be some thin quarters. You know what, Adrian? If you get a bunch of barber quarters,
I was thinking barber quarters.
the slicks,
45 is just about perfect, right to the top.
There you go.
Maybe, should we try 46?
Yeah, 46.
Oh, yeah.
So I was only off by $1.
46. The new standard for quarters is a shotgun tube of 46.
There you go. That is so cool. Yeah, big thanks to the gentleman that sent these in. I'm actually going to put some of my junk silver quarters in these tubes, and I'm going to store them that way.
Yeah, it's pretty clever idea.
Yeah, and you probably could do other sizes for the dimes. In fact, if you had one that was closer to a regular shotgun shell, it probably would fit the dimes nicely.
Yeah, so you could have different gauges for different denominations. Yeah, you have a great audience of people, very generous. All kinds of interesting things come in, notes and just thank you notes. And the phone calls we get are always complimentary of you and your channel. So we're very appreciative of all of you in the subscribing universe out there.
Well, I have to say, Harry, this community, the silver stacking community, especially on YouTube, but other places as well, they're just so generous, so kind, and they've always accepted me, which I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
And they're great people. You know, you can talk to them in the comments section. They're very knowledgeable, and I've actually learned a lot of things from the subscribers. I mean, some of these people are just geniuses, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes, I do read the comments, and sometimes in the comments section, I've been corrected politely, and, okay, yeah, I just learned something. As I may have hinted a little earlier, we don't know everything.
We don't. But speaking of subscribers, we're going to be doing something special here in probably not too long, right?
Yep, we're working on it. Adrian and I are coming up with something very special to give away, but we got to get to 300,000 subscribers, folks. So if you're watching and not subscribed, please do, because not only will it help the channel, it'll help you win whatever special thing we're conjuring up for that great landmark that we're going to hit. And we're going to hit it before the year's out.
How do you think it compares to the other giveaways we've done so far?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
Think more. More is more.
No one's going to complain about that.
More.
Well, let me get your thoughts on what's going to happen with metals this week. We just said, look, we can't predict the future. We don't know. But we have a few people from the Fed talking this week, and it's going to end with the man himself, Jerome Powell, on Friday. So, I mean, what are you expecting?
We have the Democratic convention going on right now, and they are the incumbent party in the White House. The Federal Reserve arguably tries to help the incumbent in an election year. So on the tail end of the convention, the Fed speaking on Friday should be saying things that support the candidacy of the Democrat Party. Therefore, I would think a rate cut, or at least a hint at a rate cut in the fall, will be mentioned. If that happens, gold should go higher. I don't know if it's way higher, but it should respond positively, as it does oftentimes when the safe haven of bank accounts start to look less attractive and the safe haven of metals looks more attractive. If interest rates go down, your passbook account interest rates go down. Therefore, gold should react positively to the events of this week.
Well, and as Adrian said earlier, silver typically follows gold.
Yes.
So if we see gold shoot up, I mean, silver could do something crazy.
I mean, it's bound to happen. I mean, we're at $30 where gold, is at $2,500.
I know.
That's been such a huge move from where it's been before. I mean, I remember gold was what, $1,200-$1,300 and silver was $28, and now we're at $2,500 gold and silver still, I feel like it's coiling and then it's just gonna burst out. But when? That's the thing.
Well, I'll tell you this. If you're thinking about getting silver, you probably want to do it before it breaks out.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I think there could be worse times to buy than right now.
Correct.
With silver under $30, and I don't think that's going to last more than, I don't think you'll see 29 something through this week. I think it's going to hit 30 because of the things I just mentioned. So, and it's an interesting time you might consider adding to your stack.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, thank you for the time.
Thank you, Silver Dragons.
Yep. Thanks so much.